The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Primary phase. This is the story of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, perhaps the most remarkable, certainly the most successful book ever to come out of the great publishing corporations of Ursa Minor. More popular than the Celestial Home Care Omnibus, better selling than 53 More Things to Do in Zero Gravity, and more controversial than Ulan Kalufid's trilogy of philosophical blockbusters, Where God Went Wrong, some more of God's greatest mistakes, and who is this God person anyway? And in many of the more relaxed civilizations on the eastern outer rim of the galaxy, the Hitchhiker's Guide has already supplanted the great Encyclopedia Galactica as the standard repository of all knowledge and wisdom. Because although it has many omissions, contains much that is apocryphal, or at least wildly inaccurate, it scores over the older, more pedestrian work in two important ways. First, it is slightly cheaper. And second, it has the words, "Don't panic," inscribed in large friendly letters on the cover. To tell the story of the book, it is best to tell the story of some of the minds behind it. A human from the planet Earth was one of them, though as our story opens, he no more knows his destiny than a tea leaf knows the history of the East India Company. His name is Arthur Dent. He is a 6-foot-tall ape descendant, and someone is trying to drive a bypass through his home.
Come off it, Mr. Dent. You can't win, you know. There's no point lying down in the path of progress.
I've gone off the idea of progress. It's overrated.
But you must realize you can't lie in front of the bulldozers indefinitely.
I'm game. We'll see who rusts first.
Now, I'm afraid you're going to have to accept it. This bypass has got to be built, and it's going to be built.
Why?
Nothing you can say or do.
Why has it got to be built?
What do you mean, why has it got to be built? It is a bypass. You've got to build bypasses.
Didn't anyone consider the alternatives?
There aren't any alternatives. Look, you are quite entitled to make any suggestions or protests at the appropriate time.
Appropriate time? The first I knew about it was when a workman arrived at the door yesterday. I asked him if he'd come to clean the windows, and he told me he'd come to demolish the house. He didn't tell me straight away, of course. No, first he wiped a couple windows and charged me a $5. Then he told me.
But Mr. Dent, the plans have been available in the planning office for the last 9 months.
Oh, yes, I went round to find them yesterday afternoon. You hadn't exactly gone out of your way to call much attention to them, had you? I mean, like actually telling anybody or anything.
The plans were on display.
And how many average members of the public are in the habit of casually dropping around the local planning office of an evening? It's not exactly a noted social venue, is it? And even if you had popped in on the off chance that some raving bureaucrat wanted to knock your house down, plans weren't immediately obvious to the eye, were they?
That depends where you were looking.
I eventually had to go down to the cellar.
That's the display department.
With a torch.
The lights had probably gone.
So had the stairs.
You found the notice, didn't you?
Yes, it was on display in the bottom of a locked filing cabinet, stuck in a disused lavatory with a sign on the door saying, "Beware of the leopard." Ever thought of going into advertising?
It's not as if it's a particularly nice house anyway.
I happen rather to like it.
Mr. Dent!
Hello, yes?
Have you any idea how much damage that bulldozer would suffer if I just let it roll straight over you?
How much?
None at all.
By a strange coincidence, none at all is exactly how much suspicion the ape descendant Arthur Dent had that one of his closest friends was not descended from an ape, but was in fact from a small planet somewhere in the vicinity of Beetlejuice. Arthur Dent's failure to suspect this reflects the care with which his friend blended himself into human society after a fairly shaky start. When he first arrived 15 years ago, the minimal research he had done suggested to him that the name Ford Prefect would be nicely inconspicuous. He will enter our story in 35 seconds and say, "Hello, Arthur." The ape descendant will greet him in return, but in deference to a million years of evolution, he will not attempt to pick fleas off him. Earthmen are not proud of their ancestors and never invite them round to dinner.
Hello, Arthur.
Ford, hi, how are you?
Fine. Look, are you busy?
Well, I've just got this bulldozer to lie in front of. Otherwise, no. Ford, that man wants to knock my house down.
Well, he can do it whilst you're away, can't he?
But I don't want him to.
Well, just ask him to wait till you get back.
Ford.
Arthur, will you just please listen to me? I am not fooling. I have got to tell you the most important thing you have ever heard. I've got to tell you now, and I've got to tell you in that pub over there.
Why?
Because you are going to need a very stiff drink. Now, just trust me.
I'll see what I can do. Hello? It better be good. Hello? Mr. Prosser?
Yes, Mr. Dent? Have you come to your senses yet?
Can we just for a minute assume that I haven't?
Well,
And that I'm going to be staying here until you go away?
so
So you're going to be standing around all day doing nothing?
could be.
Well, if you're resigned to standing around doing nothing all day, you don't actually need me here all the time, do you?
No, not as such.
So, if you can just take it as read that I'm actually here, I could just slip off down to the pub for half an hour. How does that sound?
That sounds very, reasonable, I think, Mr. Dent. I'm sure we don't actually need you here for the whole time. We can just hold up our end of the confrontation.
And if you want to pop off for a bit later on, I can always cover for you in return.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that'd be fine, Mr. Dent. Very kind, very kind.
And of course, it goes without saying that you don't try and knock my house down while I'm away.
What? Oh, good Lord, no, Mr. Dent.
Do you think we can trust him?
Myself? Oh, I trust him to the end of the earth.
Yes, but how far is that?
About 12 minutes away. Come on, I need a drink.
By drink, Ford Prefect meant alcohol. The Encyclopedia Galactica describes alcohol as a colorless, volatile liquid formed by the fermentation of sugars and also notes its intoxicating effect on certain carbon-based life forms. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy also mentions alcohol. It says that the best drink in existence is the pan-galactic gargle blaster, the effect of which is like having your brains smashed out with a slice of lemon wrapped round a large gold brick. The guide also tells you on which planets the best pan-galactic gargle blasters are mixed, how much you can expect to pay for one, and what voluntary organizations exist to help you rehabilitate.
6 pints of bitter, and quickly, please. The world's about to end.
Oh, yes, sir. Nice weather for it. Going to watch the match this afternoon, sir?
No point.
Oh, foregone conclusion that, you reckon, sir? Arsenal without a chance?
No, it's just that the world is going to end.
Oh, yes, sir. So you said. Lucky escape for Arsenal if it did.
No, not really.
There you are, sir. 6 pints.
Keep the change.
What, from a fiver? Thank you, sir.
You got 10 minutes left to spend it.
Ford, would you please tell me what the hell is going on?
Drink up, you got 3 pints to get through.
3? At lunchtime?
Time's an illusion. Lunchtime doubly so.
Very deep. You should send that in the Reader's Digest. They've got a page for people like you.
Drink up.
Why 3 pints?
Muscle relaxant. You'll need it.
Did I do something wrong today? Or has the world always been like this and I've been too wrapped up in myself to notice?
All right. I'll try to explain. How long have we known each other, Arthur?
5 years, maybe 6. Most of it seemed to make some kind of sense at the time.
All right. Well, how would you react if I said, I'm not from Guilford after all, but actually from a small planet somewhere in the vicinity of Beetlejuice.
I don't know. Why? Do you think that's a type of thing you feel you're likely to say?
Drink up. The world's about to end.
This must be Thursday. I could never get the hang of Thursdays.
On this particular Thursday, something was moving quietly through the ionosphere, miles above the surface of the planet. But few people on the surface of the planet were aware of it. One of the 6,000 million people who had not glanced up into the ionosphere recently was called Lady Cynthia Fitzmelton. She was, at that moment, standing and probably have experienced great satisfaction to know that in 4 minutes' time she would evaporate into a whiff of hydrogen, ozone, and carbon monoxide. However, when the moment came, they would hardly notice because they would be too busy evaporating themselves.
I have been asked to come here to say a few words to mark the beginning of work on the very splendid and worthwhile New Bevington Bypass. And I must say immediately what a great honor and a great privilege I think it must be for you, the people of Coddington, to have this gleaming new motorway going through your cruddy little I'm sorry, your little country village of Cruddy Coddington. I know how proud you must feel at this moment to know that your obscure and unsung hamlet will now arise reborn as the very splendid and worthwhile Coddington Service Station, providing welcome refreshment and sanitary relief for every weary traveler on his way.
Why don't you shove off, you crud-faced old bat?
What about our bloody homes?
And for myself, it gives me great pleasure to take this bottle of champagne, of very splendid and worthwhile champagne, and break it against the noble prow of this very splendid and worthwhile yellow bulldozer.
What's that?
Don't worry, they haven't started yet.
Oh, good.
It's probably just your house being knocked down.
What?
It hardly makes a difference at this stage.
My God, it is! What the hell are they doing? We had an agreement!
Let them have their fun.
Damn you and your fairy stories! They're smashing up my home! Stop! Stop, you vandals! You homewreckers! You half-crazed Visigoths! Stop, will you?
Arthur, come back! It's pointless! Oh, hell. I better go after him. Barman, quickly, can you just give me 4 packets of peanuts?
Certainly, sir. There you are, 28 pence.
Keep the change.
Are you serious, sir? I mean, do you really think the world's going to end this afternoon?
Yes, in just over 1 minute and 35 seconds.
Well, isn't there anything we can do?
No, nothing.
I always thought we were meant to lie down or put a paper bag over our head or something.
Oh, if you like, yeah.
Will that help?
No. Excuse me, I've got to find my friend.
Oh, well then, last orders, please.
You pinstripe barbarians! I'll sue the council for every penny it's got. I'll have you hung, drawn, and quartered, and whipped and boiled, and then I'll chop you into little bits until you've had enough.
Arthur, don't bother. There isn't time. Get over here. There's only 10 seconds left.
And then I'll do it some more. And when I finish, I will take all the little bits and I will drop on them. And I will carry on dropping on them until I get blisters or until I can think of something even more pleasant to do. And then What the hell is that?
Arthur! Quick, over here!
What the hell is it?
It's a fleet of flying saucers! What do you think it is? Quick, we gotta get hold of this rod!
What do you mean, flying saucers?
Just that! It's the Vogon construction
People of Earth, your attention please. This is Prostetnik Vogon Jeltz of the Galactic Hyperspace Planning Council. As you will no doubt be aware, the plans for the development of the outlying regions of the western spiral arm of the galaxy require the building of a hyperspace express route through your star system. And regrettably, your planet is one of those scheduled for demolition. The process will take slightly less than 2 of your Earth minutes. Thank you very much. There's no point in acting all surprised about it. All the planning charts and demolition orders have been on display at your local planning department in Alpha Centauri for 50 of your Earth years. So you've had plenty of time to lodge any formal complaints, and it's far too late to start making a fuss about it now. What do you mean you've never been to Alpha Centauri? Oh, for heaven's sake, mankind, it's only 4 light years away, you know. I'm sorry, but if you can't be bothered to take an interest in local affairs, that's your own lookout. Energize the demolition beams. God, I don't know, apathetic bloody planet I rose to.
Brought some peanuts.
What?
If you've never been through a matter transference beam, you've probably lost some of your salt and protein. The beer should have cushioned your system a bit. How are you feeling?
Like a military academy. Bits of me keep on passing out. If I asked you where the hell we were, would I regret it?
We're safe.
Good.
We're in a small galley cabin in one of the spaceships of the Vogon constructor fleet.
This is obviously some strange usage of the word safe that I wasn't previously aware of.
I'll have to look for the light.
All right. How did we get here?
Oh, we hitched a lift.
Excuse me, are you trying to tell me that we just stuck out our thumbs and some bug-eyed monster stuck his head out and said, "Hey fellas, hop right in, I can take you as far as Basingstoke roundabout"?
Well, the thumb's an electric sub-ether device. The roundabout's at Barnard's Star, 6 light years away, but otherwise more or less right.
And the bug-eyed monster?
Oh, green, yes.
Fine. When can I go home?
Oh, you can't. Found the light.
Good grief. Is this really the interior of a flying saucer?
Certainly is. What do you think?
It's a bit squalid, isn't it?
Well, what did you expect?
Well, I don't know. Gleaming control panels, flashing lights, computer screens, not old mattresses.
These are the Dentrassi sleeping quarters.
I thought you said they were called Vogons or something.
Yeah, the Vogons run the ship, the Dentrassi are the cooks. They let us on board.
I'm confused.
Here, have a look at this.
What is it?
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's sort of an electronic book. It'll tell you everything you want to know. That's its job.
I like the cover. Don't panic. It's the first helpful or intelligible thing anybody's said to me all day.
That's why it sells so well. All right, here, press the button and the screen will give you the index, several million entries. Fast wind through to index V. Oh, there you are. Vogon constructor fleets. Enter the code in the tabulator and read what it says.
Vogon constructor fleets. Here is what to do if you want to get a lift from a Vogon. Forget it. They are one of the most unpleasant races in the galaxy. Not actually evil, but bad-tempered, bureaucratic, officious, and callous. They wouldn't even lift a finger to save their own grandmothers from the ravenous bug-bladder beast of Trow, without orders signed in triplicate, sent in, sent back, queried, lost, found, subjected to public inquiry, lost again, and finally buried in soft peat for 3 months and recycled as firelighters. The best way to get a drink out of a Vogon is stick your finger down his throat. And the best way to irritate him is to feed his grandmother to the ravenous bug-bladder beast of Trow.
What a strange book. How do we get a lift then?
Well, that's the point. It's out of date. I'm doing the field research for the new revised edition of the guide. So, for instance, I will have to include a revision pointing out that since the Vogons have made so much money being professionally unpleasant, they can now afford to employ Dentrassi cooks, which gives us a rather useful loophole.
Who are the Dentrassi?
The best cooks and best drinks mixers. And don't give a wet slap about anything else. They will always help out hitchhikers on board, partly because they like the company, but mostly because it annoys the Vogons. Which is exactly the sort of thing you need to know if you're an impoverished hitchhiker trying to see the marvels of the galaxy for less than 30 Alterian dollars a day. That's my job. Fun, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Unfortunately, I got stuck on Earth for rather longer than I had intended. I came for a week and was stranded for 15 years.
But how did you get there in the first place?
Oh, easy. I got a lift with a teaser. Oh, you don't know what a teaser is. I'll tell you. Teasers are usually rich kids with nothing to do. They cruise around looking for planets which haven't made interstellar contact yet, and then buzz them.
Buzz them?
Oh, yeah. They find some isolated spot with very few people around, and then they land and by some poor, unsuspecting soul whom no one's ever going to believe, and then strut up and down in front of them wearing silly antennae on their head and making beep noises. Rather childish, really.
Ford, I don't know if this is a silly question, but what am I doing here?
Well, you know that. I rescued you from Earth.
And what has happened to the Earth?
Oh, it's been disintegrated.
Has it?
Oh, yeah. Boiled away into space.
Look, I'm a bit upset about that.
Oh, yeah. I can understand.
So what do I do?
Well, you come along with me and enjoy yourself. You'll need to have this fish in your ear, though.
I beg your pardon? What the devil's that?
Listen, it might be important.
What?
It's the Vogon captain making an announcement on the PA.
But I can't speak Vogon.
You don't need to. Just put the fish in your ear. Come on, it's only a little one.
Should have a good time. Message repeat. This is your captain speaking, so stop whatever you're doing and pay attention. First of all, I see from our instruments that we have a couple of hitchhikers aboard our ship. Hello, wherever you are. I just want to make it totally clear that you are not at all welcome. I worked hard to get where I am today, and I didn't become captain of a Vogon constructor ship simply so that I could turn it into a taxi service for degenerate freeloaders. I have sent out a search party, and as soon as they find you, I will put you off the ship. If you're very lucky, I might read you some of my poetry first. Secondly, we are about to jump into hyperspace for the journey to Barnard Star. On arrival, we will stay in dock for a 72-hour refit, and no one's to leave the ship during that time. I repeat, all planet leave is cancelled. I've just had an unhappy love affair, so I don't see why anyone else should have a good time. Message ends.
Charming, these Vogons. I wish I had a daughter so I could forbid her to marry one.
Oh, you wouldn't need to. They've got as much sex appeal as a road accident. And you'd better be prepared to jump into hyperspace. It's unpleasantly like being drunk.
Well, what's so unpleasant about being drunk?
Ask a glass of water.
Ford?
Yes?
What's this fish doing in my ear?
Oh, it's translating for you. Look under Babelfish in the book.
What's happening?
We're going into hyperspace.
I'll never be cruel to a gin and tonic again.
The Babelfish is small, yellow, leech-like, and probably the oddest thing in the universe. It feeds on brainwave energy, absorbing all unconscious frequencies and then excreting telepathically a matrix formed from the conscious frequencies and nerve signals picked up from the speech centers of the brain. The practical upshot of which is that if you stick one in your ear, you can instantly understand anything said to you in any form of language. The speech you hear decodes the brainwave matrix. Now, it is such a bizarrely improbable coincidence that anything so mind-bogglingly useful could evolve purely by chance that some thinkers have chosen to see it as a final clinching proof of the non-existence of God. The argument goes something like this. I refuse to prove that I exist, says God, for proof denies faith, and without faith I am nothing. But, says man, the babelfish is a dead giveaway, isn't it? It proves you exist, and therefore you don't. QED. Oh dear, says God, I hadn't thought of that, and promptly vanishes in a puff of logic. Oh, that was easy, says man, and for an encore he proves that black is white and gets killed on the next crosswalk. Most leading theologians claim that this argument is a load of Dingo's kidneys, but that didn't stop Ulan Kulafid making a small fortune when he used it as the central theme of his best-selling books. Well, that about wraps it up for God. Meanwhile, the poor babelfish, by effectively removing all barriers to communication between different cultures and races, has caused more and bloodier wars than anything else in the history of creation.
What an extraordinary book.
Help me write the new edition.
No, I want to go back to Earth again, I'm afraid. Or its nearest equivalent.
You're turning down 100 billion new worlds to explore.
Did you get much good material on Earth?
I was able to extend the entry, yeah.
Okay, let's see what it says in this edition then.
Okay.
Let's see. E, Earth, tap out the code. Boop, boop, boop. There's the page. Oh, it doesn't seem to have an entry.
Yes, it does. You see right there at the bottom of the screen, just under Eccentrica Golumbits, the triple-breasted whore of Eroticon 6?
What, there? Oh, yes.
Harmless.
Is that all it's got to say? One word? Harmless? What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Well, there are 100 billion stars in the galaxy with a limited amount of space in the book. And no one knew much about the Earth, of course.
Well, I hope you've managed to rectify that a little.
Yeah. I transmitted a new entry off to the editor. He had to trim it a bit, but it's still an improvement.
What does it say now?
Mostly harmless.
Mostly harmless?
Well, that's the way it is. I mean, we're on a different scale now.
Okay, Ford, I'm with you. I'm bloody well coming with you. Where are we now?
Oh, not far from Barnard's Star. It's a beautiful place, a sort of hyperspace junction. You can get virtually anywhere from there. Oh, that's assuming we actually get there.
What's that?
Well, if we're lucky, it's just the Vogons come to throw us into space.
And if we're unlucky?
If we're unlucky, then the captain might want to read us some poetry first.
Vogon poetry is, of course, the third worst in the universe. The second worst is that of the Asgoths of Krea. During a recitation by their poet, Master Grunthos the Flatulent, of his poem, Ode to a Small Lump of Green Putty I Found in My Armpit One Midsummer Morning, 4 of his audience died of internal hemorrhaging, and the president of the Mid-Galactic Arts Nobbling Council survived by gnawing one of his own legs off. Grunthos is reported to have been disappointed by the poem's reception and was about to embark on a reading of his 12-book epic entitled My Favorite Bath Time Gurgles, when his own major intestine, in a desperate attempt to save humanity, leapt straight up through his neck and throttled his brain. The very worst poetry of all perished along with its creator, Paula Nancy Millstone Jennings of Greenbridge, in the destruction of the planet Earth. Vogon poetry is mild by comparison, and when the Vogon captain began to read, it provoked this reaction from Ford Prefect. And this from Arthur Dent.
Oh, freddled grunt-bugly, thy mingturations are to me as plurdled gabble-blotchets in a lurgid bee. Group, I implore thee, my founting turling drones, and hooptiously drangle me with crinkly bindle wordles, for otherwise I will rend thee in the gobberworts with my blurgle crunch and see if I don't. So, earthlings, I present you with a simple choice. I was going to throw you straight out into the empty blackness of space to die horribly and slowly. But there is one way, one simple way, in which you may save yourselves. Think very carefully, for you hold your very lives in your hands. Now choose! Either die in the vacuum of space, or... tell me how good you thought my poem was.
Will our heroes survive this terrible ordeal? Can they win through with their integrity unscathed? Can they escape without completely compromising their honor and artistic judgment? Tune in for the next exciting installment of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy tonight. We will now have a 10-minute intermission.
Four, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. It's okay.
No, I know.
Yeah. Uh, okay.
Excuse me. Hi, everybody. I'm KJ,
Now, Monty.
and we're members of the Commons,
Yay.
which is run by Artisan Friends. And we're here to talk to you about a couple of things. One, if you're local in Viroqua, there's still time to come on down. There are plenty of seats, and we've got lots of concessions, including gin and tonics. And the storm seems to have passed over us. It's nice and sunny out now. So you have time, if you're in town, to come down and see the second episode.
And we're here to talk about supporting the Commons because, in fact, art, I believe, is the answer. So this Commons is part of the answer that we're all perhaps looking for. And we have a membership drive going on right now. And foundational membership. Do you want to be a foundational membership of the Commons? I suggest it. Good for karma. Good for your karma. Good for our karma, too, for that matter.
We love being involved with this organization. There's so much going on here. Even though we were shut down for half of last year, this is our first big theater event in over a year.
Yeah.
We're really looking forward to lots more. Oh, I'm getting a message to hold the mic closer. Sorry about that. We want to tell you about our strategy to secure the Commons. We would like 300 people or more to give just a little bit annually or monthly to pay our overhead. That will secure us no matter what's happening in the world at large, no matter what the economy's doing, no matter what restrictions are out in the community, we will be able to pay our bills. We don't have a mortgage. We owe this building outright, so our overhead is about $1,500 a month. And if 300 people pay $5 a month or $60 a year, we will be secure.
Indeed. And you'll be able to hold your head high knowing you're part of this shining jewel of Viroqua. It's a beautiful center. There's a lot going on. We have 3 stories. We have this beautiful theater. We have rooms upstairs for dance, downstairs for music and art. Check it out. Check this place out. It's worth being a part of. And we'd love for you to be a part of it as well.
Yeah, the $5 a month deal, I started paying it, and now I pay $5 a month to several organizations that I support because I don't even feel it, and I am not an affluent person. So really, consider doing it. Go to our website, www.thecommonsviroqua.org/donate, and just find the link there that'll take you to PayPal, and you can sign up you can pay a one-time donation, or you can do a monthly $5, or if you can afford more, $10, $20, whatever is good for your budget. And right.
There's a link in the description of the broadcast.
Yep.
As well.
Yep. So Monty hosts our open mic, and he's an incredible musician, and he would much rather play the piano for you than be pitching.
I would. That's true. You're right.
So he's going to go up and play on the piano.
Yeah, I'll play for a few minutes, and art is the answer, everybody. Let's do this.
Yeah,
we got
art
this.
and community. Community those are our twin values, art and community. We have many artistic endeavors going on, and we also have other community endeavors that are meetings of various groups, workshops in various subjects. And there you hear Monty, and I think I'm going to sign off. Check out our website. Again, I'll give it to you, www.thecommonsviroqua.org. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Primary phase. Far out in the uncharted backwaters of the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy lies a small, unregarded yellow sun. Orbiting this at a distance of roughly 90 million miles is an utterly insignificant little blue-green planet whose ape-descended life forms are so amazingly primitive that they still think digital watches are a pretty neat idea. This planet has, or had, a problem, which was this. Most of the people living on it were unhappy for pretty much of the time. Many solutions were suggested for this problem, but most of these were largely concerned with the movements of small green pieces of paper, which is odd because on the whole it wasn't the small green pieces of paper that were unhappy. And so the problem remained, and lots of people were mean, and most of them were miserable, even the ones with digital watches. Many were increasingly of the opinion that they had all made a big mistake in coming down from the trees in the first place. And some said that even the trees had been a bad move, and that no one should ever have left the oceans. And then, one day, nearly 2,000 years after one man had been nailed to a tree for saying how great it would be to be nice to people for a change, a girl sitting on her own in a small cafe in Rickmansworth suddenly realized what it was that had been going wrong all this time, and she finally knew how the world could be made a good and happy place. This time it was right, it would work, and no one would have to get nailed to anything. Sadly, however, before she could get to a phone to tell anyone, the Earth was unexpectedly demolished to make way for a new hyperspace bypass, and so the idea was lost forever. Meanwhile, Arthur Dent has escaped from the Earth in the company of a friend of his, who has unexpectedly turned out to be from a small planet somewhere in the vicinity of Beetlejuice. His name is Ford Prefect, for reasons which are unlikely to become clear again at the moment, and they are both in dead trouble with the captain of a Vogon spaceship.
So, Earthlings, I present you with a simple choice. Think carefully, for you hold your very lives in your hands. Now choose! Either die in the vacuum of space, or tell me how good you thought my poem was.
I liked it.
Oh, good.
Oh, yes. I thought that some of the metaphysical imagery was really particularly effective.
Yes?
Oh, and interesting rhythmic devices, too, which seem to counterpoint the
surrealism of the underlying metaphor of the
humanity.
Vogonity.
Oh, Vogonity, sorry, of the poet's compassionate soul, which contrives through the medium of verse structure to sublimate this, transcend that, and come to terms with the fundamental dichotomies of the other, and one is left with a profound and vivid insight into
whatever it was that the poem was about. Good job, Arthur. That was very well done.
So what you're saying is that I write poetry because underneath my mean, callous, heartless exterior, I really just want to be loved. Is that right?
Yes. I mean, don't we all? Deep down. I mean, you know,
No! Well, you're completely wrong. I just write poetry to throw my mean, callous, heartless exterior into sharp relief. I'm going to throw you off the ship anyway. Guard! Take the prisoners to number 3 airlock and throw them out!
Hey, you can't throw us off into deep space. We're trying to write a book.
Resistance is useless.
I don't want to die now. I've still got a headache. I don't want to go to heaven with a headache. I'd be all cross and wouldn't enjoy it.
You can't do this!
Why not?
doing? Why don't you just let us go on a mad impulse? I mean, go on, live a little, surprise yourself.
Counterpoint the surrealism of the underlying metaphor. Ugh, that's too good for them.
Let go of me, you brute!
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
Resistance is useless.
I woke up this morning and thought I'd have a nice, relaxed day. Do a bit of reading, brush the dog. It's now just after 4 in the afternoon, and I'm already being thrown out of an alien spaceship 5 light years from the smoking remains of the Earth.
All right, stop panicking.
Who said anything about panicking? This is still just culture shock.
Arthur, you're being hysterical. Shut up.
Resistance is useless.
You can shut up as well. Get it a rest. Do you really enjoy this sort of thing?
Resistance is... Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, does it give you a full and satisfying life? Stomping around, shouting, pushing people out of spaceships?
Well, the hours are good.
They'd have to be.
Well, but now you come to mention it, I suppose most of the actual minutes are pretty lousy. Except some of the shouting I quite like. Resistance.
Oh, yeah. Sure, you're very good at that, I can tell. But if it's mostly lousy, then why do you do it? I mean, what is it? The girls, the leather, the machismo?
I don't know. I think I just sort of do it, really.
There, Arthur. You think you've got problems.
Yeah, this guy's still half-throttling.
Yeah, but try to understand his problem.
Well, but all right then. What's the alternative?
Well, just stop doing it, of course.
That doesn't sound too good to me.
Wait. That's just a start. There's more to it than what you see.
No, I think if it's all the same to you, I'm just going to get you both shoved into this airlock and then go and get on with some other bits of shouting.
But come on, now look! No, I got...
But thanks for taking an interest.
Stop!
Don't do it! Listen, there's a whole world you don't know anything about! Here, listen to this! Da-da-da-dum! Da-da-da-dum! I mean, doesn't that just stir anything in you?
Bye. I'll mention what you said to my aunt.
Potentially bright lad, I thought.
We're trapped now, aren't we?
Yes. Yeah, we're trapped.
Well, didn't you think of anything?
Oh, yes! Oh, but unfortunately it rather involved being on the other side of the airtight hatchway they just sealed us behind.
So what happens next?
Well, the hatchway in front of us will open automatically in a moment, and then we'll shoot out into deep space and asphyxiate in about 30 seconds.
So this is it. We're going to die.
Yeah. Oh, except... No! Wait a minute! Where's the switch?
What? Where?
No, I was just fooling. We're definitely gonna die.
You know, it's at times like this, when I'm trapped in a Vogon airlock with a man from Beetlejuice and about to die of asphyxiation in deep space, that I really wish I'd listened to what my mother told me when I was young.
Why? What'd she tell you?
I don't know. I didn't listen.
Huh. Terrific.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a truly remarkable book. The introduction starts like this. Space, it says, is big, really big. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-bogglingly big it is. I mean, you may think it's a long way down the street to the chemist, but that's just peanuts to space. Listen, and so on. After a while, the style settles down a bit and starts telling you things you actually need to know, like the fact that the fabulously beautiful planet Bethsalamin is now so worried about the cumulative erosion caused by 10 million visiting tourists a year that any net imbalance between the amount you eat and the amount you excrete whilst on the planet is surgically removed from your body weight when you leave. So every time you go to the lavatory there, it is vitally important to get a receipt. In the entry in which it talks about dying of asphyxiation 30 seconds after being thrown out of a spaceship, it goes on to say that what with space being the size it is, the chances of being picked up by another craft within those seconds are 2 to the power of 267,709 to 1 against, which, by a staggering coincidence, was also the telephone number of an Islington flat where Arthur once went to a very good party and met a very nice girl whom he entirely failed to get off with. Though the planet Earth, the Islington flat, and the telephone have now all been demolished, it is comforting to reflect that they are in some small way commemorated by the fact that 29 seconds later, Ford and Arthur were in fact rescued.
Infinity minus 2 seconds. Infinity minus 4 seconds. Alien body intake at entry bay 2. High improbability factor. Checking. Improbability coefficient infinity minus 1. Coefficient factorable. Factorized. Alien life forms carbon based. Intake sector galactic coordinate ZZ9 plural ZL.
There you are. I told you I'd think of something.
Oh, sure.
A bright idea of mine. Ticket to find a passing spaceship and get rescued by it.
Oh, come on. The chances of it were astronomical.
Don't knock it, it worked. Now, where are we?
Well, I hardly like to say this, but it looks like the Sea Frogs at South End.
Good. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Why?
Because I thought I must be going mad.
Yeah, perhaps we weren't rescued after all. Perhaps we died.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, when I was young, I used to have this nightmare about dying. I used to lie awake at night screaming. All my school friends went to heaven or hell, and I was sent to South End.
Huh. Perhaps we'd better ask somebody what's going on. How about that man over there?
The one with the 5 heads crawling up the wall?
Huh. Yeah.
Sir, excuse me. Excuse me. You know, if this is South End, there's something a bit odd about it.
Huh, yeah, you mean the way that the sea stays steady, but the rocks and buildings keep washing up and down? Yeah, I thought that was odd.
2 to the power of 100,000 to 1 against and falling.
What was that?
Oh, it sounded like a measurement of probability? Hey, that couldn't mean... No.
What?
I'm not sure, but it means we're definitely on some kind of spaceship.
South End seems to be melting away. The stars are swirling. Adjustable. Snow. My lift, my legs. They're drifting off into the sunset. Hell, my left arm's come off too. How am I going to operate my digital watch now? Ford, you're turning into a penguin. Stop it.
2 to the power of 75,000 to 1 against and falling.
Who are you? Where are you? What's going on? Is there any way of stopping it?
Please relax, you're perfectly safe.
That's not the point. The point is that I'm a perfectly safe penguin. My colleague is quickly running out of limbs.
It's all right, I've got them back now.
2 to the power of 50,000 to 1 against and falling.
Admittedly, they're longer than I usually like them, but...
Isn't there anything you feel you ought to be telling us?
Welcome to the Starship Heart of Gold. Please do not be alarmed by anything you see or hear around you. You are bound to feel some initial ill effects as you have been rescued from certain death at an improbability level of 2 to the power of 267,709 to 1 against, probably much higher. We are now cruising at a level of 2 to the power of 25,000 to 1 against and falling. And we will be restoring normality as soon as we are sure what is normal anyway. Thank you. 2 to the power of 20,000 to 1 against and falling.
Arthur, this is fantastic. We've been picked up by a ship with a new infinite improbability drive. This is really incredible, Arthur. Arthur, what is happening?
There's an infinite number of monkeys outside who want to talk to us about the script for Hamlet they've worked out.
The infinite improbability drive is a wonderful new method of crossing interstellar distances in a few seconds without all that tedious mucking about in hyperspace. The principle of generating small amounts of finite improbability by simply hooking the logic circuits of a Bamboini 57 submeson brain to an atomic vector plotter suspended in a strong Brownian motion producer, say a nice hot cup of tea, were of course well understood, and such generators were often used to break the ice at parties by making all the molecules in the hostess's undergarments simultaneously leap 1 foot to the left, in accordance with the theory of indeterminacy. Many respectable physicists said they weren't going to stand for that sort of thing, partly because it was a debasement of science, but mostly because they didn't get invited to those sort of parties. Another thing they couldn't stand was the perpetual failure they encountered in trying to construct a machine which could generate the infinite improbability field needed to flip a starship between the furthest stars. And in the end, they grumpily announced that such a machine was virtually impossible. Then one day, a student who had been left to sweep up the lab after a particularly unsuccessful party found himself reasoning this way. If such a machine is a virtual impossibility, then it must logically be a finite improbability. So all I have to do in order to make one is to work out exactly how improbable it is, then feed that figure into the finite improbability generator, give it a cup of really hot tea, and turn it on. He did this and was rather startled to discover that he had managed to create the long sought after infinite improbability generator out of thin air. It startled him even more when, just after he was awarded the Galactic Institute's prize for extreme cleverness, he got lynched by a rampaging mob of respectable physicists who had finally realized that the one thing they really couldn't stand was a smartass.
5 to 1 against and falling. 4 to 1 against and falling. 3 to 1. 2, 1. Probability factor of 1 to 1. We have normality. I repeat, we have normality. Anything you still can't cope with is therefore your own problem. Please relax. You will be sent for soon.
Who are they, Trillian?
Just a couple of guys we picked up in open space, sector ZZ9 plural Z alpha.
Yeah, well, that's a very sweet thought, Trillian. But do you really think it's wise under the circumstances? I mean, here we are on the run and everything. We've got the police of half the galaxy after us, and we stopped to pitch up hitchhikers. Okay, so 10 out of 10 for style, but minus several million for good thinking, huh?
Zaphod, they were floating unprotected in open space. You didn't want them to die, did you?
Well, not as such, no, but on the whole, it really wouldn't be very big.
Anyway, I didn't pick them up. The ship did it all by itself.
What?
Whilst we were in improbability drive.
That's incredible.
No, just very, very improbable. Look, don't worry about the aliens. They're just a couple of guys, I expect. I'll send the robot down to check them out. Hey, Marvin.
I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed.
Oh, God.
Well, here's something to occupy you and keep your mind off of things.
It won't work. I have an exceptionally large mind.
Marvin!
All right. to do?
Go down to number 2 entry bay and bring the 2 aliens up here under surveillance.
Just that.
Yes.
I won't enjoy it.
She's not asking you to enjoy it. Just do it, will you?
All right, I'll do it.
Good, great, thank you.
I'm not getting you down, am
No, Marvin, that's just fine, really.
I? I wouldn't like to think I was getting you down.
No, don't worry about that. You just act as comes naturally and everything will be fine.
You're sure you don't mind?
No, it's all just a part of life.
Life. Don't talk to me about life.
I don't think I can stand that robot much longer, Zaphod.
The Encyclopedia Galactica defines a robot as a mechanical apparatus designed to do the work of a man. The marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation defines a robot as your plastic pal who's fun to be with. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy defines the marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation as a bunch of mindless jerks who will be the first against the wall when the revolution comes, with a footnote to the effect that the editors would welcome applications for anyone interested in taking over the post of robotics correspondent. Curiously enough, an edition of the Encyclopedia Galactica that fell through a time warp from 1,000 years in the future defined the marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation as a bunch of mindless jerks who were the first against the wall when the revolution came.
I think this ship is brand new, Arthur.
How can you tell? Have you got some exotic devices for measuring the age of metal?
No, I just found this sales brochure lying on the floor. The universe can be yours. Ah, look, I was right. Sensational new breakthrough in improbability physics. As the ship's drive reaches infinite improbability, it passes through every conceivable point in every conceivable universe almost simultaneously. You select your own re-entry point. Be the envy of other major governments. Huh, this is big league stuff.
Looks a hell of a lot better than that dingy Vogon ship. This is my idea of a spaceship. All gleaming white, flashing lights, everything. What happens if I press this button?
I wouldn't...
Oh.
What happened?
A sign lit up saying, "Please do not press this button again."
They make a big thing of the ship's cybernetics. A new generation of Sirius Cybernetics Corporation robots and computers with the new GPP feature.
GPP? What's that?
It says genuine people personalities.
Sounds ghastly.
It is.
What?
Ghastly. It all is. Absolutely ghastly. Just don't even talk about it. Look at this door. All the doors in this spacecraft have a cheerful and sunny disposition. It is their pleasure to open for you, and their satisfaction to close again with the knowledge of a job well done. Hateful, isn't it? Come on, I've been ordered to take you up to the bridge. Here I am, brain the size of a planet, and they tell me to take you up to the bridge. Call that job satisfaction? Because I don't.
Excuse me, which government owns this ship?
You watch this door. It's about to open again. I can tell by the intolerable air of smugness it suddenly generates. Come on.
Glad to be of service.
Thank you, the marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation.
You're welcome.
Which government owns this ship?
Let's build robots with genuine people personalities, they said. So they tried it out with me. I'm a personality prototype. You can tell, can't you? I hate that door. I'm not getting you down, am I?
Which government owns this ship?
No government owns it. It's been stolen.
Stolen?
Stolen?
By who?
Zaphod Beeblebrox.
Zaphod Beeblebrox?
Sorry, did I say something wrong? Pardon me for breathing, which I never do anyway, so I don't know why I bothered to say it. Oh God, I'm so depressed. Here's another of those self-satisfied doors.
Support watching here on Cellular Waveband, broadcasting around the galaxy around the clock. And we say big hello to all intelligent life forms everywhere. And to everyone else out there, the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. And of course, the big news story tonight is the sensational theft of the new improbability drive prototype ship by none other than Zaphod Beeblebrox. And the question everyone's asking is, has the Big Z finally flipped? Beeblebrox, the man who invented the pan-galactic gargle blaster, ex-confidence trickster, part-time galactic president, once described by eccentric Columbus as the best bang since the big one, and recently voted the worst-dressed sentient being in the universe for the 7th time running. Has he got an answer this time? We asked his private brain care specialist, Dag Halfront.
Well, look, Zaphod's just his guy, you know?
Why'd you turn it off for, Trillian?
Zaphod, I've just thought of something.
Yeah?
We picked those couple of guys up near Sector. Zaphod, please take your hand off me. And the other one. Thank you. And the other one.
I grew that one specially for you, Trillian. You know that? Took me 6 months, but it was worth every minute.
We picked them up in Sector ZZ9, plural Z Alpha. Does that mean anything to you?
On the whole, no.
It's where you originally picked me up. Let me show it to you on the screen. Right there.
Hey, right. I don't believe it. How the hell did we come to be there?
Improbability drive. We pass through every point in the universe. You know that.
Yes, but picking them up there is just too strange a coincidence. I want to work this out. Computer!
Hi there.
Oh, God.
I want you to know that whatever your problem, I am here to help you solve it.
Oh, look, I think I'll just use a piece of paper.
Sure thing. I understand. If you ever need me...
Shut up!
Okay.
Trillian, listen. This chip is picked them up all by itself, right?
Right.
So that already gives us a high improbability factor. It picked them up in that particular space sector, which gives us another high improbability factor. Plus, they were not wearing space suits. So we picked them up during a crucial 30-second period.
I've got a note of that factor here.
Put it all together, and we have a total improbability of, well, it's pretty vast, but not infinite. At what point did we actually pick them up?
At infinite improbability level.
Which leaves us a very large improbability gap still to be filled. Look, they're on their way up here now, aren't they, with that bloody robot? Can we pick them up on any monitor cameras?
I should think so.
And then, of course, I've got this terrible pain in all the diodes down my left side.
Is that so?
Oh, yes. I mean, I've asked for them to be replaced, but no one ever listens.
I can imagine.
Oh, God. I don't believe it.
Oh, well, Zaphod Beeblebrox.
I don't believe it. This is just too amazing. Look, Trillian, I'll just handle this. Anything wrong?
I think I'll just wait in the cabin. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to be so unbelievably cool about it, it would flummox a vegan snow lizard. This is terrific.
So great about it myself. I'll go and listen for the police on the sub-ether waveband.
Right. Which is the most nonchalant chair to be discovered working at? Okay. Glad to be of service.
I suppose you want to see the aliens now. Do you want me to sit in a corner and rust? Or just fall apart where I'm standing?
Show them in, please, Marvin. Ford, hi. How are you? Glad you could drop in.
Zaphod, great to see you. You're looking well. The extra arm suits you. Hey, nice ship you've stolen.
You mean you know this guy?
Oh, know him? Well, he's... Oh, Zaphod. This is a friend of mine, Arthur Dent. I saved him from when his planet blew up.
Oh, sure, hi, Arthur. Glad you could make it.
Arthur, this is my...
We've met.
What?
Oh, have we? Hey,
What do you mean we've met? This is Zaphod Beeblebrox from Beetlejuice 5, you know, not some bloody Martin Smith from Croydon.
I don't care. We've met, haven't we, Zaphod? Or should I say, Phil.
What?
You'll have to remind me. I have a terrible memory for species. Hey, Ford, why brings you on
It
this?
was at a party.
I rather doubt it.
Cool it, will you, Arthur? I mean...
A party 6 months ago. On Earth. England. London. Islington.
Oh, that party!
Zaphod, you don't mean to say that you've been on this miserable little planet as well, do you?
No, of course not. Well, I may have dropped in briefly on my way somewhere.
What is all this, Arthur?
At this party, there was a girl. I'd had my eye on her for weeks. Beautiful, charming, devastatingly intelligent, everything I'd been saving myself up for. And just when I'd finally managed to get her for myself for a few tender moments, this friend of yours barges up and says, "Hey, doll, is this guy boring you? Come and talk to me. I'm from a different planet." I never saw her again.
Zaphod!
Yes, well, he only had the 2 arms and the 1 head, and he called himself Phil, but otherwise...
But you must admit that he did actually turn out to be from a different planet, Arthur.
Good God, it's her! Trisha McMillian, what are you doing here?
Same as you, Arthur. I hitched a ride. After all, with a degree in maths and another in astrophysics, it was either that or back to the unemployment queue on Monday. Sorry I missed that Wednesday lunch date, but I was in a black hole all morning.
Oh, God. Ford, this is Trillian. Hi, Trillian. This is my semi-cousin Ford, who shares 3 of the same mothers as me. Hi. Trillian, is this sort of thing going to happen every time we use the infinite improbability drive?
Very probably, I'm afraid.
Zaphod, Beeblebrox, this is a very large drink. Hi!
Will our heroes be able to enjoy a nice, relaxed evening at last? How will they cope with their new social roles? Will they survive the deadly missile attack which is launched on them 3 minutes into the next episode? Find out in tomorrow's exciting installment of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.